yourself today, not in the future, but you have a craving, when you see that desire pop through your head, give it credence, give it attention, give it action, and say, today, I am going to Google that realtor, message that person, and schedule the call or schedule the meeting. I am going to make it real with this action today. And that's what I learned in Kindedge.com is no matter how tiny, you've got to make it concrete and real and actionable today. And when you take that action, you always, this is the life hack, tether to the next step. So when you finish the conversation with the realtor, you hook a real thing on the calendar to say, can we meet again in 1 week? And during that time, can you send me these examples? And I will send you those examples of, like, maybe the realtor sends you some examples of the things you might be buying and some of your, even rocket science is not rocket science. You have a dream and you have a goal and it seems too hard for you right now. But I'm telling you right now, it's doable because literally everything that's ever been done is done through some sort of first step and a second step and a third step. So I know a guy who is not a rocket scientist, but he went into rocket science. His name's Elon. And if you can imagine, he is not a rocket scientist, but he built rockets that fly. And so you've got to imagine that there was a day where Elon knew nothing about rockets. And then he learned the first thing. And then he learned the second thing. And then he partnered with people who know far more than him. And then he connected dots. And then he took a next action and a next action. And he flew to other countries. He talked to other governments. He gathered information. He had an idea and explored that idea. He had another idea, tried it that way. Did this one, it failed. This one literally blew up in his face. And eventually he became a rocket scientist or somebody who is in a business of rocket science. So you've got to start treating your dreams and your big goals and the big life change you crave as not far away, not unattainable, not too different from your current life. You have just got to imagine that the one first step you take is building the bridge from here over the abyss to the changed life you seek. So this is just to give you a flavor of what the solutions that kindedge.com is designed to deliver. It's something I built for myself because I was getting inspired, but I kept kind of getting hijacked by real life when I was driving towards big life change. And what I discovered is the work that I needed to build for myself needed to be just like the change management exercises and tasks and decision tools that I deliver to my large global clients who I guide through corporate change management. And the key is when it is complex, when it does involve many other moving parts, and it seems difficult to plan and coordinate and make all these changes without trashing everything that's in motion and creating regret. The key is that you've got to imagine these things are doable, right? Say you are a hairdresser and you have all of your money coming from hairdressing and you have a mortgage and your whole life is in motion and you want to become a PhD in a certain type of research. And you think, I could never be that. I'm not an expert. I wouldn't even be able to apply to that type of program. You've got to imagine that someone somewhere has done that before. And you've got to imagine that it was not rocket science. They took the first step and took the next step and took the next step. And those steps daisy chained together into the end game. And so it would be a phone call, an email, walking into a university center, speaking to a person, connecting with a human, doing a little research. But the core is making it real in tiny little actionable steps where you can say, I feel unqualified and I'm not a PhD. You know, we imagine if you want to become a PhD, we imagine you have to be a PhD. to aspire, just to aspire to be that. And that's not true at all. Say to yourself, it's great to just lower the stakes, lower the tension, and say, if you want to talk to a person at a university or talk to the PhD who's in the program that you want to be in, say, I'm a big dummy. I am clueless about this, but I simply know that I want this. Can you help me with the one next step? That's all you have to do. Say the words to a person and say, can you help me with the one next step? That is the process. And then you start to get clarity on the path. You start to get clarity on the barriers and the requirements and the credentials and the tasks. And you start to just march down that path and opening the door to your completely new life. And through those experiences, you build a new network, and your time becomes more about that future, and your network becomes more about that future. It becomes real. But you do not ever have to think that anything is rocket science, because imagine Elon had to sit there and say, I have an idea of something popping off the earth, going against gravity and going really far to another planet. I wonder how we could do that. Big dumb question, sounds impossible, but he did it by taking the one first step. Your idea, your craving, your desire, your dream, the relationship change you want, the marathon you want to run, the body change you want to make, the charity you want to start, the fame that you seek, or the anti-fame. If you want to be Thoreau and just go off into the woods and be alone and live that life, if you crave a change to the way your life is, there's a first step. And it can be with a realtor to consider, what would it mean selling my place and going and doing this other thing? It's always just the simplest, dumbest first step. So imagine yourself today, not in the future, but you have a craving. When you see that desire pop through your head, give it credence, give it attention, give it action, and say, today, I am going to Google that realtor, message that person, and schedule the call or schedule the meeting. I am going to make it real with this action today. And that's what I learned in Kindedge.com, is no matter how tiny, you've got to make it concrete and real and actionable today. And when you take that action, you always, this is the life hack, tether to the next step. So when you finish the conversation with the realtor, you hook a real thing on the calendar to say, can we meet again in 1 week? And during that time, can you send me these examples? And I will send you those examples of, like, maybe the realtor sends you some examples of the things you might be buying and some of your comparables for selling your place. And then you say, these are the types of things I'm looking for. You tether it and you have the next meeting, the next action. You never let the chain break. And that's how you unlock your future life and make it real, instead of sitting there saying, I really wish, I have this desire to have this life change. I want to live somewhere different. I want to do something different. I want to change a career. I want to change my relationship. But there's no but. You can take the tiniest action today to make it real. So that's what we're working on Kindedge.com. I've written a lot already in my blogs, and I'm now building the tools to be able to deliver the steps that you can take in real life. I'm building those into my website, and then we will get you going to unlock the alternate ending to your life. So please subscribe to this channel, and please share this with anybody else that might want to join this journey, and visit kindedge.com to sign up for my email list, and so we can keep you up when we publish all of these steps. So I wish you the best. I hope you will join me on this journey. It is not going to be easy, but it's going to be fun. Peace.